All right, welcome. Sorry about my voice. For some reason, I am losing my voice, and I don't know why, but I decided today in my completely inconsistent upload schedule that I would just go ahead and record a video while my voice sounded like this. So, I want to talk about Nintendo today and why I think they hate art. I think Nintendo hates art, or at least creativity, because they seem to be actively stopping anybody from being creative. This is one of my favorite quotes. I found this book at a friend's house. It's from this guy, Austin Kleon. I'm guessing that's how you say his name. I saw his book called Steal Like an Artist. Didn't read the whole thing, but I kind of skimmed over it. I really liked it. But I thought this was a great quote and very fitting for what's going on with Nintendo. What a good artist understands is that nothing comes from nowhere. All creative work builds on what came before. Nothing is completely original. So, like in my favorite video games, I like there are certain mechanics that I like and I hope to get passed on. And if you're paying attention at all to Nintendo, they are currently in the middle of a legal battle with the video game Power World because it uses similar mechanics. It's basically the Pokemon game that everybody always wanted. But of course, in order to make sure they win and nobody could possibly take their ideas, they went and filed all these patents, like literally the mechanic of summoning a character into a video game. And there's more details of this. There's plenty of people have covered it, but still, it sucks to watch something you have so much of your childhood memories invested in actively try to stop people who probably see them as their heroes because that's why they're making something that is similar to Pokemon. Imagine your hero coming out and being, nope, you can't do that. But you were inspired by us? No, that's stealing, and we're coming after you. It just seems like a really crappy thing to do. Moving on to the next fun thing that Nintendo is doing. So there's big controversy over this, the game key cards, that you don't actually get the games. Now I've seen other videos where somebody claimed to have a Switch 2 in hand, took it to Best Buy with them, bought Cyberpunk 2077, put it in without Wi-Fi, and it played. So I don't know how much full truth there is to this, but obviously there's enough because this National Library that preserves physical media by law, the library requires a copy of all new publications by law, but they do not count the Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. And ultimately, I'm sure Nintendo doesn't care about that at all. In fact, it's probably even better for them because now they don't have to submit a free copy to this library or whatever. But still, like, I think there's a part of everybody that should be like, wait a minute, if a museum is not even considering your media to be eligible to be preserved, why am I paying $70 for it? But yeah, so it does suck. And I purchased the majority of my video games on Steam. In fact, I don't even own a Switch 2 yet. And I don't know if I'm really going to get one. Now, to be honest, since games like Elden Ring and Cyberpunk are going to be on there, I may be tempted at some point. But as of right now, there's nothing really drawing me into the Switch 2. I'm still enjoying my original Switch. All right. And so add on to the unfortunate greed that they seem to be falling into. In one of their latest Nintendo Directs, they announced, again, Pokemon Legends, but they announced not only the game, but a DLC for the game. And this game is not out yet. So the original Switch hardware game will be $70, I think. Let me double check that. I was wrong. Pokemon Legends for the original Switch hardware will be $60 plus $30 for your DLC. So that's $90 for a full game that isn't released. And then if you have the Switch 2 and you want to play it on there, since it's quote unquote optimized for that console, you're going to pay $70 plus the $30 for the DLC if you want the complete game. So you're paying $100 for this Pokemon game, which it just seems scummy. It seems disingenuous to put out a game and then cut content out of it essentially so that you're able to charge a higher price. And I'm sure there are arguments for this, like, oh yeah, well I can't afford $100 for Pokemon, so it's kind of nice that I can just pay $70 for it. I'm like, what? Okay, that's great. But the rest of us just want to pay $70 like we used to, or $60 like we used to for a complete game. If you created the content for this game already, but it's not been released, wouldn't that make that content a part of the original release? So why separate it? It just seems, I don't know, it seems disingenuous. And this isn't the first time they've done this. I know that. And they're far from the first company to do this. I just think it's a terrible business practice. I think it's anti-consumer. And I wish they wouldn't do it. But I also can't stop them. So it is what it is. In this article right here, there's also this quote where somebody mentioned it. With Pokemon Legends Z-Day already $70 on Switch 2 or 60 on the original Switch. Fans were quick to note that the $30 Mega Dimension DLC announced weeks before the game's launch and available to pre-order already, pushes the price of owning every new Mega Evolution to $100, reiterating what we just talked about. So I'm probably going to cut that entire thing out. There was no point in me saying that at all. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I just think it sucks. And it's not because I dislike Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. Zelda was like, it was a big deal for my childhood. And to watch all the video games that came after Zelda that fall right underneath what this quote is saying, that all creative works build on what came before. Nothing is completely original. I'm sure the idea of Zelda wasn't completely original. The Legend of Zelda was not completely original. There was it Adventure on the Atari? It's very reminiscent of that. Nothing is original. Nothing Nintendo's done is original. But since they're so big at this point, they just push the littler guys around, and that sucks. Those littler guys are the future, and if you're just going to sue them into oblivion just to save your IP, I don't know. I think that sucks. I like smaller games. I like my indie games. I like big games too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to say that Nintendo's doing some scumbaggy things. I'm still going to play their games because at the end of the day, they still make good games for the most part, except for the Pokemon games. Those, for some reason, just keep getting worse and worse. But Zelda, I'm going to keep playing that. Loved Tears of the Kingdom. I heard somebody put it this way, and I think it's the best way to put it, that Nintendo is a lot like your great grandma that bakes really good cookies, like just really good cookies, but she's also kind of racist. So I'm like, that's kind of how I feel about Nintendo. Make good games, just sucks to see the way they operate with other creators in the same space. I am losing my voice. So that's all I got. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. I might read them. Thanks for staying this long. Adios. Bye. Hey, like and follow. Thanks.